Ooh, Mel, the second one of the BEASTwriter family. Thank you, Mahalo, for the super chat. She goes, hello, Beast. Hello, Mel. How are you doing? Mel has been dealing with some, gosh, Mel, she was on the live stream. If you guys don't remember her, she was on the live stream. Her ankle was swollen. It looked like bad news. We've been dealing with some issues there, but hopefully they're okay. Mel, it seems like you guys are okay. I just talked to you right before I hopped on this live stream. In fact, I still have your DM up on Twitter. And you said you were going to be jumping on the live stream, which you just did. And yeah, I'm looking at the picture that you just sent me right now as you were watching my podcast yesterday, and the vaccine you got looks rough. That looks rough. I hope you're okay, because that looks rough. That looks rough. Is Junior says, do you think Sherman will come back? I don't think so. And I don't think we want him to come back, honestly. I think Richard Sherman is damaged goods. And again, Richard Sherman can hate me all he wants. He blocked me on Twitter a long time ago before he even came to the San Francisco 49ers because I called him out when he was with the Seattle Seahawks. He didn't like it. I don't care. And from that point on, I've never known what Richard Sherman tweets, and I don't care. Interesting to point out, though, is I don't think he's good enough. He's a step too slow. Anybody who says he can be a viable free safety, you're doing yourself a disservice, because anyone knows football knows that if you can't play your deep thirds or quarter coverage, what makes you think you can cover more ground playing in the deep half or being the single high safety? Just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And you have to be a sure tackler in open space. Yeah, he's smart enough to leverage splits pre-snap. So based on down and distance and formation, he might be able to cheat a little bit one way. However, with that being said, you still have to be at the end of the day and be the sure tackler as the eraser role in that cover 3 scheme. I just don't see it. I don't think he has the speed. I don't think he knows how to take the proper angles playing in that safety position. Again, you have to cover a lot of ground. And even though he can play his splits a little bit where he thinks the ball is going before the ball is snapped, at the end of the day, you have to be able to get there. And he's a step too slow. He's a step too slow. Mel says, we're good. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you are doing well. That's good news. All right. Takumi Abe, my man. Hey, this Takumi, if you guys don't know, Takumi is one, he served our country. So I met him at the 49ers game. No joke. This is what the BEASTwriter family is all about. I met Takumi. How long ago was it, Takumi? It's probably back 2014. So we've been friends for 7 years now, 7, 8 years. I met him and his wife, Leanne. And at the time, they were dating at the time. And it's funny because the 49ers were honoring Takumi at the 49ers game. I like to talk to everyone and everyone. I don't care. Like, I'm not one of those people in my heart. Oh, look at me. I'm a BEASTwriter Niners. I'm not going to talk to them. No, I don't play that game. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, who are you? Like, I want to, like, this is how I am. Takumi will tell you this. So long story short, Bob Lang, who is the PR of the 49ers, got Takumi to go into the post-game press conference. And there's pictures up. Takumi posted them up. I also posted them up on my Twitter. And I was like, oh, he's like, oh, where are you guys from? I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, we're from Hawaii. I was like, oh, what? My sister lives in Hawaii, in Oahu. It's like, oh, I'm from Oahu. So then we kind of engaged that way. No joke. After the press conference, after that game, we hit it off, and we legit, after the game was over and after I was done with my work and my press conference, we went out and grabbed dinner over at Fogo de Chao in Santana Row. Like, just complete strangers. Like, hey, let's just go out. Hey, you're a Niner fan. I love talking to Niner fans. Let's just go out and do this. Legit. And we became really good friends ever since. Every time I go back to Hawaii, I try to make it a point to see my man Takumi. Takumi, thank you so much for serving our country, man. You are so awesome, and I wouldn't be here without you. So yeah, good times, man. And it gives me goosebumps because, again, this is how I am. I've always been giving back to the BEASTwriter family, always try to do the right thing here in the BEASTwriter family. And again, ever since I became a beat writer with the 49ers and now moving on doing this in the BEASTwriter family here on YouTube, it's all about good vibes only. If I always kept it real, always kept it 100. And some people don't like me giving back. Don't ask me why people don't like me giving back. But I don't know. I guess they're just haters, but I love giving back. I'm never going to change. And if you don't like it, swipe left. All right. Mario Ponte says, who has the best chance to be an instant starter from this draft class? Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has the best chance of being a starter in this draft class. He's ultimately going to be starting with Sean Lee's retirement, and look for that to take place. All right, let's go ahead and get to the draft grades on the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, we're going to start off with why I believe the Raiders reached for Alex Leatherwood. That's what this whole podcast and whole live stream's about. And then we're going to go ahead and transition into NFL news. Any questions you have about fitness, any questions you have about anything regarding the NFL in general. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Alex Leatherwood. Well, the Raiders made a play for Alex Leatherwood, right? Let me just pull up the tracker here. Here you go. So we have Alex Leatherwood, who is the 49ers. Yeah, right. The 49ers did not make this move. John Lynch would be fired for this. Alex Leatherwood was the Las Vegas Raiders' first-round pick, drafted number 17 overall, and which is why I believe it was a huge reach at 17, and why I'm not surprised. For the second straight year in my grading system, Alex Leatherwood was the biggest reach, and the team that gave the biggest reach was the Las Vegas Raiders. Last year, it was Damon Arnett, drafted in 2019 out of the Ohio State University. The Las Vegas Raiders went ahead and drafted him in round 1. I said that was the worst pick. In hindsight, it was. Fast forward to today. Boom, checking off another YouTube Twitter receipt. Call it what you want it. And this year, I'm calling it again. I'm a huge Alabama Roll Tide Roll fan, but again, I keep things 100. I don't care. Alex Leatherwood, you don't like me for saying this? Prove me wrong. You know, I always say, my job is to project and predict. Your job is to perform. Don't like it, play better. Alex Leatherwood, not saying you're not going to have the Pro Bowl potential. However, at number 17, that was a huge reach because, again, you're projecting a guy to play offensive tackle when most people and most teams that I spoke with view you as an interior guard. Okay, just saying it. I'm a huge Roll Tide Roll fan, like I said. But again, when you have other players on the board, like let's say Landon Dickerson. Now, I know he's coming off a torn ACL, but he would have been a higher value. I would have been okay with that. Replacing a guy like Rodney Hudson, who you just traded to the Arizona Cardinals within the NFC West, right? Or why not go after a guy like Creed Humphrey? Now, I know he fell to the Kansas City Chiefs in round 2, but why not go after Creed Humphreys? Even at 17, that would still be a reach, but it'd be a reach that you would be like, okay, well, based on the horizontal board and based on our BPA, best player available, and looking at our vertical board and our value board, Creed Humphrey is a lot higher and ranked a lot higher in all 3 boards. So why not go after Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma to replace Rodney Hudson, who was just shipped out to Arizona for a 3rd-round pick? Okay, so that's why it doesn't really make sense to get Alex Leatherwood, who by many standards, people viewed as no better than a top 50 prospect, not even the top 50 prospect by some teams. So again, why would you go ahead and reach for this pick when you could have had him in round 2?